Do you know 1 in 3 women has a chance of being diagnosed with cancer once in a lifetime? So, if you're a woman, you must know about these 10 signs of cancer. Number 1. A lump or thickening in the breast or underarm. Waking up one day and feeling a lump in your breast or underarms is both a shocking and frightening discovery. It's definitely not something to ignore. This lump or thickening is one of the major signs of breast cancer. But how does breast cancer cause these lumps or thickened areas? Breast cancer begins when cells in the breast start to grow uncontrollably. These cells usually form a tumor that is mostly felt as a lump. Not all lumps are cancerous, but those caused by cancer are typically hard and irregular in shape, though they can also be soft and rounded. As cancer cells grow, they damage nearby healthy tissue. This damage causes the breast or underarm area to thicken and swell, making the tissue feel different. Sometimes these lumps are found in the underarm because breast tissue extends into this area, and cancer mostly spreads to the lymph nodes located there. The lymph nodes act as filters, trapping cancer cells that break away from the original tumor. When these nodes become involved, they also swell and form lumps. It's important to remember that not all lumps mean you have cancer. Many benign conditions, like cysts or fibroadenomas, also cause lumps or thickening in the breast. However, it's important not to ignore any new lump or change and consult your doctor. Number 2. Abnormal vaginal bleeding. Did you know that bleeding after menopause is like getting a pop quiz after the final exam? It's unexpected and definitely something to take seriously. Abnormal vaginal bleeding is a major sign of cervical or endometrial cancer, and understanding how this happens helps you stay on top of your health. First thing first, what basically a cervix is? The cervix is the lower part of the uterus, which connects it to the vagina. It's like a gateway between the uterus and the outside world and plays an important role during childbirth. When cancer cells grow on the cervix, they disrupt the normal tissue and blood vessels in the cervix, leading to bleeding. This bleeding occurs between periods, after sex, or after menopause, making it hard to ignore. Wait, that's not all. This vaginal bleeding is not only associated with cervical cancer, it also indicates endometrial cancer. If you don't know, endometrial cancer affects the lining of the uterus, called the endometrium. This lining normally thickens and sheds during your menstrual cycle. But when cancer develops, it causes the endometrium to thicken irregularly. This irregular thickening leads to abnormal bleeding, as the cancerous tissue doesn't follow the usual cycle. As a result, you experience heavy bleeding, spotting, or bleeding after menopause, which is definitely not normal. If you notice any unusual bleeding, don't wait for the curtain call to take action. See your doctor to figure out what's going on. Early detection of cervical or endometrial cancer can make a big difference in treatment and outcomes. Number 3. Bloating or swelling of the abdomen. We all feel bloated from time to time, especially after a big meal. Persistent bloating or swelling of the abdomen is more than just an annoying after effect of that extra slice of pizza. In some cases, it is a warning sign of ovarian cancer. Ovarian cancer begins in the ovaries, the small almond-shaped organs on either side of the uterus that produce eggs and hormones like estrogen and progesterone. When ovarian cancer develops, it mostly goes unnoticed at first because the symptoms are quite subtle. But as the cancer cells grow and multiply, they cause the abdomen to swell and bloat. It's because ovarian cancer cells produce fluid, known as ascites, which accumulate in the abdomen. This buildup of fluid doesn't just make your jeans feel tighter, it also puts pressure on your organs, leading to further discomfort. Besides causing bloating, the growing tumor itself takes up space and presses against other organs in the abdomen. This pressure leads to a feeling of fullness, even when you haven't eaten much, and can also interfere with digestion and normal bowel movements. As you know, the worst thing about cancer is it spreads to other body parts. Like other cancers, ovarian cancer can spread to nearby areas like the lining of the abdomen. This spread irritates and inflames the abdominal tissues, leading to more fluid buildup and swelling. Your abdomen becomes the stage for an unwelcome, ongoing performance of discomfort and bloating. Number 4. Pelvic pain. Ever wonder why your pelvic region suddenly feels like it's auditioning for the lead role in a pain drama? Persistent pelvic pain that isn't related to your menstrual cycle is a sign of ovarian or endometrial cancer. This isn't the kind of pain that a hot water bottle and a cozy blanket can fix. It's a lot more than that. But what causes this intense pain? Let's get into it. As discussed earlier, ovarian cancer starts in the ovaries, the small organs that produce eggs and hormones. As the cancer grows, it causes pain in the pelvic region. This happens because the tumor presses against nerves and other organs in the pelvis, which leads to a constant, nagging pain. On the other hand, when cancer develops in the lining of the uterus, that is endometrium, it causes the tissues to become inflamed and thickened. This inflammation spreads to nearby areas, causing pelvic pain. Think of it as your body's way of waving a red flag, saying, "Something's not right in here." Besides all this, hormonal changes caused by these cancers also contribute to pelvic pain. Hormones play a key role in regulating pain and inflammation. When cancer disrupts your hormonal balance, it makes pain more pronounced and harder to manage. It's as if your body's pain control system has gone haywire. Number 5. Unusual vaginal discharge. Now, this might make you squirm a bit, but it's important. If you have unusual vaginal discharge that's watery, bloody, or has a foul odor, it is a sign of cervical or vaginal cancer. Pay attention to what's happening down there. It's important. When cancer starts to develop in the cervix, it leads to changes in the cervical tissues. These changes cause inflammation and irritation. As the body responds to this irritation, it might produce an abnormal discharge. It's like your cervix is trying to get your attention. Also, as cervical cancer progresses, the cancerous cells cause the cervix to produce more mucus or even pus. This also leads to a discharge that is thicker and might have a distinct smell. The unusual discharge is one of the early warning signs that something isn't right, especially if it appears suddenly or is different from your normal menstrual discharge. Let's move our focus to vaginal cancer, which cancer starts in the cells of the vagina, the muscular tube that connects the external genitalia to the uterus. Just like cervical cancer, vaginal cancer can also cause unusual vaginal discharge, but the reasons and characteristics are a bit different. As vaginal cancer develops, it disrupts the normal balance and health of the vaginal tissues. The cancerous cells damage the healthy tissues, which causes inflammation and changes in the vaginal discharge. The cancer also causes the vaginal walls to become irritated and ulcerated. This irritation leads to a discharge that might be mixed with blood or pus. Sometimes the discharge is also accompanied by pain or discomfort, further signaling that something is amiss. Number 6. Difficulty eating or feeling full quickly. Ever find yourself feeling full after just a few bites of food and wonder if your stomach has turned into a bottomless pit? This feeling is quite annoying and irritating, but it's not always due to an upset stomach. Sometimes these little signs indicate something big as cancer. Yeah, you heard it right. This is one of the alarming signs of ovarian cancer. As you know, as the cancer progresses, tumors grow and begin to press on the surrounding organs, including the stomach. This pressure makes your stomach feel full even when you haven't eaten much, as if someone is giving you an invisible food limit sign. Besides ovarian cancer, it also indicates endometrial cancer. It's because as the cancerous cells invade and thicken the uterine lining, they lead to changes in the surrounding areas and exert pressure on the abdomen and the digestive organs, making it difficult for your stomach to stretch and accommodate a normal amount of food. Number 7. Changes in bowel habits. Let's get real about bathroom habits. If you're experiencing constipation, diarrhea, or other changes that don't go away, it is not something to be ignored, as it also indicates ovarian cancer. Your bathroom routine says much about your health, so don't be shy about noticing changes. When ovarian cancer grows, it also affects your intestines. When a tumor forms in or near the ovaries, it presses against the intestines. This pressure affects normal bowel function, leading to changes like constipation and diarrhea, or alternating between the two. As mentioned earlier, ovarian cancer causes fluid buildup in the abdomen, known as ascites. This fluid puts extra pressure on the intestines, making it difficult for them to function normally. Number 8. Nipple discharge. Ever had the surprise of finding something unexpected on your shirt and wondered, What on earth is that? If you notice an unusual discharge from your nipple, it's not always a random occurrence. In fact, it is a sign of breast cancer. Let's dive into how this happens. Breast cancer starts when cells in the breast grow uncontrollably. These cancerous cells multiply and form a tumor that affects the nearby tissues, including the ducts that carry milk to the nipple. This disruption can lead to unusual discharge from the nipple. When a tumor in the breast attacks milk ducts, it causes the ducts to become inflamed or obstructed, leading to abnormal discharge. The discharge varies in color, ranging from clear or cloudy to bloody, or even pus-like. It's like the breast is trying to signal a problem by sending out a warning message. The discharge might be spontaneous, meaning it can occur without any apparent reason, such as squeezing or pressing on the nipple. This spontaneous nature makes it more clear that something significant is happening in the breast tissue. Number 9. Itching, burning, or pain in the vulva. Have you ever had an itch that you just couldn't ignore, no matter how hard you tried? Now, imagine that itch evolving into a burning sensation or pain, and you'll understand the discomfort that comes with vulvar cancer. Vulva is basically the external part of the female genitalia, encompassing the inner and outer lips, the clitoris, and the vaginal opening. Vulvar cancer begins in the cells of the vulva. As these cancerous cells grow, they cause irritation and inflammation in the area. This irritation leads to persistent itching, burning, or pain. The cancer can also cause changes in the vulvar skin, such as thickening, discoloration, or the formation of sores and ulcers. These changes contribute to the itching and burning sensations. It's like having an irritating rash that just won't go away, making even the simplest activities feel uncomfortable. Number 10. Pain during intercourse. Have you ever had a date night become a painful experience instead of a romantic one? Sex should be enjoyable, not painful. If you're experiencing pain during intercourse, it could be a sign of cervical, vaginal, or vulvar cancer. Don't suffer in silence and talk to your doctor about it. Each of these cancers causes discomfort during sex in different ways. For example, vulvar cancer leads to inflammation and sores in the external genital area, making intercourse painful. On the other hand, cervical cancer causes the cervix to become inflamed and tender, leading to discomfort during sex. Vaginal cancer creates lesions or tumors that disrupt the vaginal walls, while endometrial cancer causes the uterus to become swollen or inflamed, affecting the surrounding pelvic area. In all cases, this pain is a significant symptom that shouldn't be ignored. It's your body's way of signaling that something is seriously wrong. If you experience persistent pain or discomfort, seeking medical advice is important to address the issue and get appropriate treatment. And these were the 10 signs of cancer in women that you should never ignore. Remember, these symptoms don't automatically mean you have cancer, but they do mean it's time to see your doctor. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more health tips and information.